Well, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, and it's October 26, 2021. If you are listening in another time, not just live today. And of course, I do live stream this on Facebook, but I also put it over onto YouTube. So I've never done this before, but if you happen to be watching it on YouTube, please like the video if you like it, and subscribe and share. We'd love to get more people to come and listen and see these devotions. I do them every day, and I post them up as a permanently on YouTube. So there is a collection there, and there's actually playlists of the different books that we've done the devotions for, so that you can go day by day, verse by verse almost, and go through the various books that we've already done. So with that, we are working our way through the 7th chapter of John's Gospel. Today we're going to bite off verses 32 to 39, and then tomorrow, I believe tomorrow we will finish, yes, probably tomorrow we'll finish, if not on Thursday, we will finish chapter 7. See how I divide up the next bit of this. But we are going to look at, again, verses 32 to 39 this morning, so let's just jump right into it, and we'll talk about it a bit. The Pharisees heard the crowd muttering such things about him, and the chief priests and Pharisees sent temple police to arrest him. Jesus then said, I will be with you a little while longer, and then I am going to him who sent me. You will search for me, but you will not find me, and where I am, you cannot come. The Jews said to one another, Where does this man intend to go that we will not find him? Does he intend to go to the Dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? What does he mean by saying, You will search for me, and you will not find me, and where I am, you cannot come? On the last day of the festival, the great day, while Jesus was standing there, he cried out, Let anyone who is thirsty come to me, and let the one who believes in me drink. As the scripture has said, Out of the believer's heart shall flow rivers of living water. Now he said this about the Spirit which believers in him were to receive, for as yet there was no Spirit, because Jesus was not yet glorified. Okay. All right. Well, we have to go back up just a little bit and remember that Jesus had went through his rant, and then the Pharisees heard people muttering about him, and then they were going to send the officers to arrest him, and we'll talk about that coming up. That comes up just a little bit longer, or a little bit later here. But they are getting ready to confront Jesus, I guess. Let's put it that way. But Jesus is saying, where I'm going, you can't go. And of course, he's talking about the ascension, and going to the cross first, the resurrection, and then the ascension. Let's get it in the proper order here. And you'll search for him, but you won't find him. Well, he's in the grave. You certainly won't find him, because you'll think he's in the grave, I guess. But here, an interesting thing where he's talking about the rivers of the living water. There's something here. Remember, this is the festival of the tabernacles, it's the Sukkot. And during that time, first of all, that's a dry time of year. It wasn't normal for them to have much, if any, rainfall in that period of time. And rainfall, of course, is a big thing in that part of the world. When Gail and I were there in Israel, it was raining, and which wasn't a normal time for it to rain. And they were quite ecstatic and quite excited about it, because rain is a big thing over there. They don't get a lot of it, and it is the lifeblood. It is what gives them new life. And especially at this time, this is the harvest festival, okay? They're celebrating the harvest, and this is a time when the rain is life for the new crop, the next year's crop. And so any rain that they would get in an unexpected time would be vastly welcomed. So much so that one of the things they did, apparently, they were, during that Sukkot, they were supposed to move out of their homes and live in tents, or lean-tos or shelters. And those shelters were supposed to have roofs that were structured such that you could see through and see the stars above you, or that if it rained, the rain would come in on you. You would get wet. Everything would get wet, because that was the idea. And you welcomed that. The whole goal was to have it rain on them if they could. That was an exciting thing. That was a celebratory thing, that they were getting wet. They were getting this life-giving water. And so it's interesting that Jesus, and it's not just a coincidence, that Jesus is using this metaphor of life-giving, living water during this time. And of course, it's remembrance of the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, but it's about this life-giving force that's coming into the world. And so he, of course, is that living water that is to come into the world. And he is there, right there during Sukkot, during the festival, the time when they wanted the water to come. It's there, giving them new life. They just don't know it. They just don't recognize it because they're looking in the wrong places as they're hunting and searching. Now, the other thing that I noticed in this that I do want to mention quickly this morning is that they mentioned, does he intend to go to does he intend to go to the dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? Now, that's interesting because that precedes, of course, Paul's being called to be the disciples to the Greeks, and here they're mentioning, is he going to go teach to the Greeks? Well, that's interesting. I find that intriguing. It's kind of a foreshadowing of the ministry that Paul will have, taking Jesus' word, that living water, that life-giving water that comes during the harvest of the festival of the harvest, the tabernacle, and he's going to take it beyond just the Jewish people. So that's where I'm going to leave you today, and tomorrow we will look at verse 40 and beyond, and we'll see whether we go all the way to the end of the chapter tomorrow or not. But have a blessed day, and please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. We'll see you all later. God bless.